Coming up, we'll get you ready for UK's bowl game tomorrow in Florida.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. In just under 13 hours, the Cats will take the field in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. They play Clemson in Jacksonville at noon tomorrow. Many UK fans are already in the Sunshine State. Garrett Weimer is also there with our Big Blue coverage.
Well, it has been a fun day here in Jacksonville, but the sun has set now on this Gator Bowl Eve, and Cats fans are confident as they get ready for game day. A pep rally right off the beach got the crowd fired up. It capped off a day full of activities for Big Blue Nation. It may not be beach weather, but it was a heck of a backdrop for these Cats fans throwing the pigskin and looking ahead to a UK win.
We say Cats by 10?
Cats by 90.
Cats by 90?
At the Seawalk Pavilion, fans took pictures with the trophy.
Yes, we'll go bring it home tomorrow.
Folks even got to meet the tax slayer himself. But for all the fun before, Big Blue Nation still has its eyes on one goal.
We're going to relish every moment of it. We're fortunate to be 8 bowls in a row. We just need to win this one and move forward.
A Big Blue crowd showed up at the pep rally. Let's hope for the same at Everbank Stadium.
Yeah, Blue get in.
Well, it has been a busy day out here today, and the party really is just getting started. And we know Cats fans are hoping the celebrations continue with a Gator Bowl win tomorrow. In Jacksonville Beach, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. Now, the Cats are not just getting ready for the game, they are giving back. Today, following a news conference, the football team and cheerleaders met with Dream Team kids. The children are battling life-threatening illnesses. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl Dream Team was started in 2017 in partnership with Dreams Come True of Jacksonville. Well, the Cats kick off again at noon tomorrow. You can watch the game on ESPN. The basketball Cats also play tomorrow night. Luckily, it's not at the same time this year. We'll have more on all of it later in sports.
Well, the weather looks pretty good for Jacksonville, Florida tomorrow for that game against Clemson, but closer to home, we are tracking some wintry action to close out the work week on Friday. Not tonight, though. Here's a live look at the radar, and as you can see, we are dry under a partly to mainly cloudy sky, but those snow showers are not too far away. As we zoom out to western Kentucky, you can see some snow showers and some wintry mix in between Owensboro, also Louisville, and that moisture is pushing into our direction as we go into your Friday. As we zoom out, this is all thanks to an upper level low close to Chicago, producing some snow showers in Missouri, also Illinois. And again, that moisture is moving into our direction as we go into your Friday. Also on Saturday, those temperatures tonight are chilly in the middle to lower 30s, down to 34 in Jackson, 33 in Manchester, 34 also in Somerset and London, and low temperatures are close to freezing as you wake up on Friday, back in the lower 30s. A small chance of a stray sprinkle or flurry overnight, but again, most of us are dry until Friday. We are tracking those off and on snow showers on Friday. The good news, temperatures are above freezing in the middle to upper 30s, but again, watching out for that wintry mix, also that snowy action as we close out the work week. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Maine has ruled former President Donald Trump is not eligible to appear on that state's 2024 presidential ballot. He faces more than a dozen legal challenges to his eligibility for office under the 14th Amendment in both state and federal courts. CBS's Wendy Gillette reports from New York on the latest decision and the possible ramifications.
Former President Donald Trump goes back on the campaign trail next week in Iowa. In the latest decision on his eligibility to appear on the 2024 presidential primary ballot, Maine's Democratic Secretary of State ruled on 3 challenges, deciding Trump is not eligible to appear on the ballot because of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which says no person shall hold office if they have engaged in insurrection or rebellion, ruling he did so on January 6, 2021. A hearing on the challenges was held earlier this month in which Trump's attorney argued his case.
There's substantial federal jurisdictional issues that prohibit a state from engaging in this type of behavior.
Trump's campaign says an appeal will be filed in state court, but it's unlikely to end there. Michigan Supreme Court said Wednesday Trump will remain on the state's primary election ballot following a challenge. Colorado's Supreme Court ruled Trump was disqualified from the ballot there. For now, he's back on after the state's Republican Party asked the Supreme Court to weigh in.
All of this, I think, at least before the general, is screaming out for the Supreme Court to say, here's who is disqualified.
It's a given that it's about slavery.
Elsewhere on the campaign trail, GOP candidate Nikki Haley backpedaled Thursday, a day after she did not mention slavery when a New Hampshire voter asked her what caused the Civil War.
I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run.
That brought criticism from other Republican presidential hopefuls.
Not that difficult to identify and acknowledge the role slavery played in the Civil War.
As the sparring intensifies, the Iowa caucuses will kick off the nominating process just 2.5 weeks from now. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
GOP candidate Vivek Ramaswamy is calling for all of the Republican hopefuls to take themselves off a state's ballot where Trump is removed. Presidential candidates are now starting to file here in Kentucky. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie both filed today with the Kentucky Secretary of State's office. Both candidates are trailing former President Donald Trump in national polling. Now, Trump has not filed in Kentucky yet. The 2024 Kentucky primary is May 21st. Early voting runs from May 16th through the 18th. Well, we are just days away from the start of the legislative session in Frankfort, but this year we won't get an early look at bills that will be up for debate. Under a new law, pre-filed bills and drafts will not be posted online. The only way to see bills before the session starts is for lawmakers to share them themselves. House Speaker David Osborne sponsored the bill that changed the process. Osborne told the Kentucky Lantern the old way led to distractions. Some groups criticized the move as an attack on transparency. It became law without Governor Beshear's signature. A Christmas miracle for a North Carolina family thanks to the work of deputies in South Central Kentucky. Lincoln County deputies found a teenager hidden in the floor beneath a man's home on Christmas Day. The teen was reported missing weeks ago. Zachary Keith Jones is facing more than 30 different charges, including rape. Deputies say he met the 16-year-old victim online. He took her from her home in North Carolina by making her believe he was much younger.
Mr. Jones had told him that she had fled the scene, and after doing some investigation, they realized that she was there, and there was actually a room cut out in the floor that you accessed through the floor and was covered with a rug, and that's where the juvenile was located at.
Deputies found the girl when someone reported a domestic violence situation at the home. The City of Hazard wastewater plant is currently undergoing some much-needed maintenance, something that Hazard City Manager Tony Eversole says was crucial as the plant was dealing with a buildup of excessive waste. He says approximately 5 to 7 feet of waste sludge is now being removed for a better running optimal system, but he says it is an expensive project.
The cost of disposal of any kind of waste is extremely high. I mean, it's roughly $50 a ton. And when you're talking about thousands a ton, you know, it runs into a lot of money. So what we're trying to do, save money, we constructed a drying bed, temporary drying bed at the site.
Eversole expects the maintenance project to be finished within the next couple of days. Knott County officials are continuing to work on recovering from the July 2022 flood. Officials with the Fiscal Court announced they have purchased a building to allow for more office space. Several employees lost their offices in the flood, putting many in the courthouse. Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says some files will not be recovered, and his finance director had 90% of their files before his office was destroyed.
We keep 2 years worth of files here in my office, you know, for audit purposes, but you know, the ones beyond that was in his office, and an office that's never been flooded. something that you wouldn't even think would be a possibility, and it was destroyed.
Dobson says the building they purchased was flooded on the first floor, but not the top floor. He says they plan to have business opportunities in that building as well. As the new year quickly approaches, folks may be making their New Year's resolutions. One resolution that officials at Addiction Recovery Care say does not have to wait is treatment for an addiction. If you or a loved one are struggling, there are treatment options available as early as now.
If you go 2 or 3 days without the substance that you're used to using and you go back to use again, you have much higher chance of overdosing. And so it's even more dangerous if you're at home trying to do it on your own and then you give up on day 3 and go out and get high. That could be the last time you ever get high.
Keaton says they have transportation available to anyone in the Commonwealth. All they have to do is call their intake team at 606-638-0938. A new federally funded program is promoting electric vehicle education and outreach to the Appalachian region. The program is in Madison County through the U.S. Department of Energy. You can borrow an EV for a few weeks at no cost. Part of the project's purpose is to provide clean, affordable options to underserved communities. It also aims to develop charging stations in rural areas. Marty Brown just borrowed a car. He says he enjoyed the experience.
I haven't given it a name yet and haven't fallen in love with the EV, but it's very intriguing, and I think I'll probably get one in the next, I don't know, 2-3 years or so, maybe sooner.
Starting Monday, new fees will go into effect for EV and hybrid drivers. Some good news for other drivers. Gas prices are expected to keep dropping in the new year. Gas Buddy predicts Americans will spend $32 billion less at the pump next year. They project a national year average of $3.38 per gallon. That's down 13 cents from this year and a big drop from 2022's near $4 average. And as we closed out the year, gas prices are averaging below $3 here in Kentucky. The state's average right now sits at $2.81 according to AAA. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a group of senators wants to cut down on insulin costs for the insured and uninsured.
Plus, we are tracking some snow showers as we end the work week. Those details coming up after this break.